Hi, this is Dave from DIY Domination. Would you like to learn how to improve soil fertility in a sustainable way? Well, allow us to introduce you to the concept of green manure, a simple yet effective method that enhances soil health and productivity. Green manure refers to cover crops that are grown and then plowed back into the soil while still green or shortly after flowering. This practice offers a multitude of benefits, from boosting soil fertility and organic matter content to suppressing weeds. Over the course of this video, we'll walk you through a comprehensive step-by-step guide to incorporating green manure into your farming practices. We'll start by assessing soil needs, selecting appropriate cover crops, planning crop rotation, and preparing the soil. Then we'll move on to sowing and managing cover crops, incorporating them into the soil, allowing decomposition, planting cash crops, and repeating the process. Stay tuned as we delve into the step-by-step guide on incorporating green manure into your farming practices. By the way, if you like this video and want to see more videos with advice on sustainable farming, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave a comment down below saying "I subscribed," and we'll do our best to reply to your comment. First things first, understanding the specific needs of your soil is crucial. You see, soil isn't one size fits all. It has its own personality, and it communicates through signs like nutrient deficiencies or changes in its structure. So, how do we decipher these signs? Well, you can use a soil test kit to identify nutrient levels or observe the soil's physical properties like its texture or drainage. Now, onto green manure crops. These aren't just any crops, they're like the superheroes of soil health. For instance, if your soil is low on nitrogen, legumes such as clover come to the rescue by fixing nitrogen from the air into the soil. On the other hand, if your soil needs organic matter, grasses like rye can do the job. They grow fast, and when incorporated back, they enrich the soil with organic matter. Once you've identified your soil's needs, you can select the appropriate cover crops. Choosing the right cover crops is a key step in the process. It's essential to pick based on your specific climate, growing season, and soil requirements. Why, you ask? Well, different cover crops thrive in different conditions and offer varying benefits. For example, if you're dealing with nitrogen-deficient soil, legumes like clover are your best bet. They're fantastic at fixing nitrogen right back into the soil. Grains such as rye and oats are stellar at contributing organic matter. And then there are brassicas like mustard and radish, which are proficient at suppressing weeds and pests. Remember, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. You need to consider what your soil needs and which cover crop can best deliver that. After all, it's all about creating a harmonious relationship with Mother Nature. After selecting your cover crops, it's time to plan your crop rotation. A well-planned crop rotation can help avoid disease and pest issues. Now, when we talk about crop rotation, we're not talking about spinning your corn in circles. We're talking about the practice of growing different types of crops in the same area in sequenced seasons. It reduces soil erosion and increases soil fertility and crop yield. Incorporating green manure into a crop rotation plan is like adding a secret weapon to your arsenal. You see, cover crops or green manure not only enrich the soil but also help in breaking the life cycle of pests, diseases, and weeds by disrupting their feeding patterns. Imagine this. You've got a field of corn, and next season you plant a cover crop like clover. That clover is going to fix nitrogen in the soil, giving your next cash crop a nutrient boost. Planting cover crops to precede or follow cash crops optimizes nutrient cycling. It's like giving your soil a well-deserved vacation. With a solid crop rotation plan, we're ready to prepare the soil. A well-prepared soil bed is essential for successful cover crop growth. So let's get our hands dirty. The first step is to clear the field of any existing crops or weeds. This prepares the slate for our cover crops to flourish without competition. Next, we loosen the soil. This can be done through plowing or tilling. Creating a suitable seedbed is crucial for the cover crops to establish roots and absorb nutrients efficiently. Now comes the exciting part, sowing our cover crops. We broadcast the seeds evenly over our prepared soil. It's like sprinkling magic dust that will soon transform our field into a lush green carpet. But remember, too much of a good thing can be harmful. So, we follow the recommended seeding rates for the specific cover crop we've chosen. Once the seeds are sown, we lightly rake or harrow the soil to cover them. Now that we've sown our cover crops, it's time to manage them. Proper management of cover crops ensures they deliver the desired benefits. It's crucial to keep a close eye on your cover crop growth. Regular monitoring allows you to catch any potential issues early on, ensuring your cover crops are growing as they should. Now, depending on the climate and the specific cover crop, irrigation might be necessary. It's all about making sure your cover crops have the right conditions to thrive. And here's a pro tip. Consider mowing or rolling your cover crops. Why? Well, it helps prevent them from becoming too tall and difficult to incorporate later. It's a bit like giving your lawn a good trim, only this time we're talking about cover crops. The aim is to manage these crops so they're in the perfect condition when the time comes to incorporate them into the soil. It's all about balance and timing. Once our cover crops are well managed, we can incorporate them into the soil. Incorporating cover crops into the soil at the right time is crucial. Now let's dive into the specifics. Ideally, you want to turn the cover crops into the soil when they're in the early flowering stage for legumes or just before heading for grasses. Why, you ask? Well, this is when they contain the highest amount of nutrients and can provide the maximum benefit to your soil. To incorporate the cover crops, you can use a variety of tools. A plow, disc, or other suitable equipment will do the trick. The key here is to ensure good incorporation. You want the green manure to be evenly distributed throughout the soil to speed up decomposition and to evenly distribute nutrients. Remember, timing and technique are everything when it comes to incorporating cover crops. After incorporation, it's essential to allow enough time for decomposition. This will ensure that your soil is enriched and ready for the next crop cycle. Decomposition is a natural process that releases nutrients back into the soil. Once we've turned those green cover crops into the soil, it's crucial to give Mother Nature some time to do her work. We're talking about a few weeks here, not months. During this time, those busy microorganisms are breaking down the organic matter, gradually releasing their bounty of nutrients back into the soil. Now, once the cover crop is fully decomposed, we're all set for the main event, planting those cash crops. This enriched, well-structured soil is just what your cash crops have been dreaming of. So go on, plant your desired crops into this fertile ground. Whether you're growing corn, wheat, or soybeans, they're sure to thrive in this nutrient-rich environment. And remember, the health of your soil directly impacts the health and yield of your crops. Finally, it's time to repeat the process and continuously adapt. Incorporating green manure is not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process. The beauty of this method is in its cyclical nature. It's like a dance, where each step builds upon the last, creating a harmonious rhythm that benefits both the soil and the crops. The process doesn't end with planting your cash crops in the enriched soil. It's important to keep in mind that soil needs can change over time. As you continue your farming practice, you'll want to reassess your soil's needs periodically. Maybe this time it needs more nitrogen, or perhaps it could use a boost in organic matter content. The choice of green manure cover crops you make can be adapted to these changing needs. By observing your soil and adjusting your cover crop choices, you ensure that your soil continues to thrive and provide a robust foundation for your crops. Remember, continuous observation and adjustment are key to successful green manure incorporation. In conclusion, we've traversed the journey from assessing your soil needs, selecting the appropriate cover crops, planning your crop rotation, all the way to sowing and managing your cover crops. And let's not forget the crucial steps of incorporating the cover crops back into the soil and allowing sufficient time for decomposition before planting your cash crops. We've seen the immense benefits that green manure can bring to your farm, enhancing soil fertility, boosting organic matter content, suppressing weeds, and fostering a more sustainable farming system. So why not give it a try? The proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say. This is not a one-time deal, but a process that you can repeat time and again, fine-tuning your approach based on the unique needs of your soil and farming system. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this guide helps you improve your soil fertility in a sustainable way. Happy farming! If you like this video, then make sure to also watch these videos for more DIY sustainable farming lessons.